Hey guys, Richard Aficionado channel and reefs.com. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to take you to Global Pet Expo in Orlando. Let's go. For those of you guys that are not familiar with Global Pet Expo, this show is held once a year in Orlando, Florida, in Orange County Convention Center. It is the largest convention center in the country and is very impressive in its size and amount of animals that you see and amount of products that you see. It is quite astounding, and it really puts a perspective on the actual size of our whole industry. Because if you see the floor, while the floor and everything is massive, the amount of aquatic side, it's very small compared to the overall volume of the whole show. So it kind of puts us in that perspective. We're not that big. Now, this is a very different from a traditional trade shows that we usually cover. This is not just for fish, but this show actually has all the pets that you could think of: dogs, cats, reptiles, anything. They have all different sorts of things, and there are no end users here. There's only pet stores, distributors, and manufacturers from all around the world that come and showcase the new products that they have developed over the year to bring it over here. We go to these shows typically just to get the pulse of the industry, to figure out and find out what are new products that is coming out, and we're really interested to see after the pandemic what are they bringing to the table. Last year we saw like VR booths being set up, and I was able to find stuff like Comore. Comore pumps are very reputable pumps. They were in the medical industry first, and they were trying to break into the US market. As you guys are aware of it now, CoralView has picked up Comore and has just run with it, and we now come to use and love that brand and use it very frequently to feed calcium reactors or just to dose in general, and then just trusting that brand and pump to be accurate and precise to basically sustain our ecosystem by providing calcium and alkalinity and magnesium and other different types of trace and aminos that you dose into your system. And these type of shows are amazing because everybody in there is basically a professional, an industry leader, a brand manufacturer, or even stores. And then they get a very unique perspective of certain products and what they expect that product can do for the market. And it's really good to just sit down and just listen and just find out what they think, and just compare notes with fellow industry professionals to see if you have missed anything or if they provide a different insight that you may not have thought of. So these kind of shows are actually really fun to go to just for that interaction alone. This year it was a little bit disappointing because it has actually reduced to a size. It has never been this small before. Every time I go, I see a familiar face in Julian Sprung, Jeff Turner and Jolene Turner of Boyd Jellyfish Art. They actually won awards several times in a row for their jellyfish art tank. They really represented our industry and in their products, and I thought it was amazing to see that and being recognized in a global show like this. And e-shops and many other brands, they weren't there. But to see the size of the aquatic side this year, it made me sad. Due to the COVID-19 restrictions in many different countries, I was forced to look around even deeper, and I'm glad that I was able to do that. These are a few of the stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. One of the brands that really impressed me this year was ProClear. ProClear is actually a brand that makes filtration as well as aquariums. They're located in Jacksonville, Florida, and here's a fun fact about ProClear for you. They've been around for quite a while now. Did you know that the wife of the owner of ProClear made the industry's first filter socks? She got the filter fleece material and then she sewed it and then she made it into a sock. They called it as a scum buster, but that name they really didn't catch on. But filter socks, it did, and I'm glad they did because it's been utilized by hobbyists all around the world to catch larger organics and stuff out of their aquariums and clean them. ProClear had some amazing stuff on their display for commercial uses, and they had the ones for individual fish filtration where they could just easily remove the bowl and the container of the fish to bag it, remove it, and stuff and such, which I saw and I thought it was practical, as well as traditional commercial type of fish holding system. Another thing that caught my attention was their reactor. Reactors is not something new and it's nothing is revolutionary, but like everything is in fine details, and I really appreciate when people just sit down and then try to make things better. For example, ProClear has done is that they created a small little adapter at the end, so when you click on that adapter, you could easily remove the hose and then when you let go of that adapter, then it closes the hole so that water will not drain from the reactor while you have to do maintenance. Thing is, when you make things easy, people will do it. I always say this, and I strongly believe it, because that's what I do personally too. If it's easy, I do it. And I think I speak for the rest of the hobbyists in our hobby that is the norm, pretty much. And another thing that I found interesting was their skimmer. Their skimmer was pretty interesting because the bubble plate, it moves while in operation. I mean, I don't know how that really works, but I'm hoping to get together with Gary at one point and discuss a little bit more about it. And another thing that I found was pretty different from conventional type of skimmer was that how it draws air in. Usually the skimmers have, just a Venturi type of pump, and it has a hose that's coming in, sucking in air from, let's say, a silencer or without a silencer. This one, they had the silencer built in to the collection cup. The size of the hole that sucks the air in from the skimmer cup was very, very small. And it got me wondering, would that negatively affect in oxidating the water and raising the pH? I don't know. That was my initial impression. But after I was talking with the owner briefly, because their booth was so busy, he assured me that that wasn't the case. They did it that way to actually making it much more silent. I would like to run some tests down the road and see if it indeed holds up to the standards that he was telling me that it was on. Another booth that was phenomenal was Dr. Tim's booth. Dr. Tim is not a stranger in any of the trade shows. He's always there, very friendly, amazing person that has brought a lot of different type of products as well as knowledge into our hobby that I have personally benefited, as well as a lot of other people that use this bacteria to cycle their aquariums. This year, they brought a lot of different things to the show. First thing, Dr. Tim is releasing their salt. Yes, he's getting into the salt game. All the parameters seems to be on par with the rest of the salt that's in the market, in exception of alkalinity, which he said, I think around 8 to 8.5 on 35 ppt. Another thing that he was getting into was additives. And if you're manufacturing salt, it's really a no-brainer to get into that market as well, because you're already using it, right? So he was bringing in calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium supplementing buffers, as well as iodines, strontium, and amino acids, as well as vitamins for your corals, and many different type of other elements in various different sizes. And what I liked on seeing this is that they gave a lot of thoughts to nano users. So they used a lot of smaller sizes so that you could just do single doses if need be, or if you just have that small aquarium that doesn't need a lot, they have even a capsule size ones. I thought that was really neat and interesting. One thing that I was really proud at this show was how the Aquaculture Lounge was set up. Our aquaculture and captive breeding farms in the state of Florida came up and put up a heck of a job and promoting the sustainability of our hobby, as well as beauty of our animals that are found in our oceans, as well as lakes and rivers around the world. One thing that was really cool was biota and their schools of yellow tang and different clams that they brought to the show. All the captive breeding species that they had to their arsenal, they brought it, and I thought that was really neat. That Cuban basslet was, talk between a lot of different vendors, because a lot of times people talk about these type of high-end fish, but they've never really seen it in person, because it's hard to order such a high dollar value item. And it was really good to see them and then have them exposed, engaged in a conversation, how well these fish do in captive settings. And and the people getting encouraged to try it on their stores, to pass to their customers. It was really encouraging sight to see. ORA brought their A game, and I really enjoyed the variety of clownfish that they brought, as well as blennies, gobies, and damselfish that they breed in their facility here in Florida. I thought that was just outstanding. And another captive breeding facility that I personally enjoyed was Aquatics. Aquatics, yes, they breed a lot of different clownfish, just like other breeding facilities. However, they also do game fish as well. And they brought a lot of their selections of pelagic species, such as lookdown fish, and just many other game fish, so that not only for our hobby, per se, of 500 gallons or less, or also for a lot of larger tanks that people would want. Like if it's like, let's say 1,000 gallons and up, 2,000 gallons, and they want that big game fish in there with artificial reef, they had those available for them to look, and a lot of different type of school fish that you'll find in a public aquarium or museum that were there with those type of fish. So that was really interesting and nice to see. All the new products that I spoke of, whether it is ProClear or from Dr. Tim's, they should be available in market in about 2 to 3 months, and we will be able to get a much closer look at RAP Orlando as they will be bringing it down to the show, so we could get another glimpse of it, and you guys get to see it in hand, to see what they have, what is to offer, and how much it will be for retail. Alright guys, so that was my coverage of Global Pet Expo 2022. Thank you for watching the video. Next year, I know it's going to be a lot better now that everything has been pretty much lifted, and hopefully all the restrictions in different countries will go away, so that we'll see more innovation down the road, and just things that will just blow our mind, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.